The Chinese envoy to Nepal, Chen Song's recent remarks on Nepal's relations with India have courted controversy. During a recent program in the capital, envoy Song had spoken in line with Nepal's relation with India being a double-edged sword. The Indian embassy has reportedly taken up the case with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs while preparations are underway to ask for the clarification from the Chinese envoy. Experts have meanwhile termed the Chinese envoy's remarks as a violation of diplomatic norms. Good evening, I'm Sarah Sapsanama. Let's begin with the headlines of the hour. Koshi Chief Minister Uddhav Thapa relieved from his position. Supreme Court terms confidence vote unconstitutional. Directs the largest party to appoint Chief Minister within 48 hours. Local levels becoming a hub of corruption. Financial irregularities thrive as the nexus of people's representatives and employees thrive. International Relations Committee directs the Foreign Ministry to caution Chinese envoy Song regarding his recent controversial statements. And Nepal take on Thailand at the ICC Women T20 World Cup Asia region qualifiers semi-final tomorrow. A win will propel Nepal into global qualifiers. The Supreme Court has issued a mandamus directing for the appointment of a leader of largest party as Chief Minister in Koshi province, terming the floor test by Nepali Congress Provincial Assembly leader Uddhav Thapa as unconstitutional. The mandamus by a full bench of Justices Sapana Pradhan Malla, Kumar Chudal and Nahakul Suwedi has relieved Thapa from the position of Chief Minister, and now the province chief Parshuram Khapung has 48 hours to appoint a leader from the largest party at the province as the next Chief Minister. This means Provincial Assembly leader of CPNUML, which is the largest in the province, Hikmat Kumar Karki, will be appointed the next Chief Minister of Koshi province. The Apex Court asserted Ismail Mansouri's vote to lock majority for Thapa while chairing the Provincial Assembly meeting was unconstitutional. The full bench has used alternative constitutional provisions to order for the appointment of leader of largest party as two or more parties failed to form a government in the province. This was the second time that Thapa's appointment was scrapped by the Supreme Court, terming his election as unconstitutional. Based on constitutional provisions, CPNUML leader Hikmat Kumar Karki will need to take the vote of confidence in 30 days. Karki has been appointed to the post previously but had lost the floor test as Maoist Centre withdrew its support to the province government. Should Karki once again fail to clear the floor test within 30 days, any other lawmaker can stake the claim with majority vote from the Provincial Assembly. The Provincial Assembly has 93 members and any candidate will need 47 votes to sustain their government. CPNUML has 40 members, Nepali Congress has 29, Maoist Centre has 13, Rashtriya Prajatantra Party has 6, Unified Socialist 4 and Janata Samajwadi Party has 1. The government has made a decision to present the bills related to federal civil service and education at the Parliament. The meeting of the Council of Ministers held at the Prime Minister's office in Singadarbar earlier today decided to present the bills related to federal civil service and education at the Parliament. The meeting of the Council of Ministers also made a decision to include a team led by Commerce Secretary in the preparation of Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal's visit to China. Likewise, the meeting decided to appoint Anjan Kumar Jha as the Deputy Chairperson of the Medical Education Commission. The Parliament's International Relations Committee has directed the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to ask for clarification from the Chinese ambassador to Nepal in connection with the controversial statements he made during a program held in the capital recently. A meeting held today at Singadarbar directed the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to caution the Chinese envoy against airing controversial remarks that are not in line with the diplomatic norms. During the program held in the capital last Saturday, the Chinese envoy had made controversial remarks on Nepal-India relations. Meanwhile, in another context, Minister for Foreign Affairs N.P. Saud informed the committee that the ministry could not find the record of the then government's correspondence with China regarding the updated political and administrative map of Nepal that includes the Kalapani, Lipu Lake and Limpiadhura region. Likewise, Minister Saud also informed that the government was still finalizing the agendas of Premier Dahal's upcoming China visit, adding that the government has been consulting various secretaries, former foreign ministers and ambassadors in this regard. The lawmakers viewed that all the envoys needed to be briefed about Nepal's new administrative and political map. They also urged the government to furnish a reply on why Nepal's new map was not sent to China. The jurisdiction of the administrative hub of the country, Singadarwa, has been distributed at the local level as the country stepped into federalism. However, local levels have been mired in corruption. Data show that corruption has been taking place at local levels with a coordination of public representatives and government officials. The Commission for the Investigation of Abuse of Authority, CIA, has received the highest number of complaints regarding corruption at local levels. The authority on Tuesday filed a case against 3 individuals, including chairperson of Bishnupur Rural Municipality in Saptari, Umesh Prasad Yadav, and accountant Teknaran Yadav, alleging them of corruption. On Sunday, the authority filed a case against former chairperson of Likhupike Rural Municipality, Ward number 2 of Solukhumbu, Ramesh Kumar Basneth, Chief Administrative Officer Rajendra Bhandari, and accountant Jeevan Suvedi, accusing them of corruption. These are just a few representative cases. The authority has filed 17 cases of corruption by local levels within 2 months of the beginning of the new fiscal year. Chief administrative officers and accountants, along with public representatives, have been found involved in corruption. At least 20,368 complaints of corruption were filed at the CIA last fiscal year, while 33% of the total cases were related to corruption at local levels. The authority filed 168 cases at the Special Court after conducting investigations. Likewise, the Special Court had issued verdict on a total of 341 such cases, while the Corruption Watchdog failed to furnish sufficient claims on 237. Meanwhile, experts say that the authority must be serious towards the rise in corruption at the local levels following the implementation of federalism. It may be recalled that a large budget volume is allocated to local levels since the implementation of federalism. The nature of cases filed by the CIA are similar. Most of the complaints are filed against fraud, disproportionate accumulation of property, and illegal profit. This clearly shows that the local level has started becoming the center of corruption. According to data by the authority, among the 3 tiers of government, local levels are the most involved in corruption. The Kathmandu District Court has sought documents to clarify on the age of the minor victim allegedly raped by cricketer Sandeep Lamichhane. The single bench of Judge Sakuntala Karki has sought for the victim's migration documents within 7 days' time. As the hearing proceeded, government attorney, the victim and the defendant's side had mentioned that the victim had shifted from Shankarapur to Nuwakot. Judge Gargi has ordered for transfer documents to tally with the relationship certificate. The Supreme Court had ordered to conclude the case through fast-track process. However, the hearing has been postponed time and again. It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Poll.
But before today's question, let's take a look at the results from yesterday's poll. Yesterday we asked you, what do you term the government preparation to allow having wild animals as pets? 48% voted for option A, effort for conservation, 19% for B, risks of abuse, and 33% for C, abuse of animal rights. And here's today's question. Why has corruption become rampant at local levels? Your options are A, corrupt mentality, B, nexus of parties, and C, lack of monitoring. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. We'll take a short break here. More news coming up. The number of people engaged in agriculture as profession has increased as the National Agriculture Census has shown an additional 300,000 have joined this sector in the past 10 years. On the contrary, the number of farmer families has gone down, while the number of women in the profession has gone up from 19% to 32%, and that of men has decreased to 67% from 81%. Based on the National Census Office, more than 4,130,000 are engaged in the agriculture sector at the moment. However, the number of farmer families have gone down to 71.62%, and 55% of the families cannot sustain through agriculture alone. Likewise, the recent study has shown the area of fields used for plantation of major crops have also gone down to 1,216,000 hectares from 1,456,000 hectares a decade ago. Maize is being planted in an area of 559,000 hectares of land as opposed to 673,000 hectares 10 years ago. Wheat is being planted in an area of 654,000 hectares, a drop from the 759,000 hectares. Vegetable farming, meanwhile, has increased as the total land usage stands at 107,000 hectares from 84,000 10 years ago. Livestock farming has also seen a slump, with the number of oxes reduced by 1,338,000. The decrease in engagement has been attributed to modernization of agriculture, exodus of youths and rise in investments. Based on the census findings, only 1% of the farmers sell all they produce, 69% use them for themselves and 25% do both. Just around 12% farmers have taken agro loans and 7% have availed government grants. 4% of the total farmers have enrolled themselves in insurance programs. Now, in our Public Voice segment, today we've asked in several provinces what should be done to increase attraction towards agriculture profession. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
तालिमसँगै अनि अनुदानकै बिना ब्याजको लगानी पनि गरिदिनु पर्यो सरकारले
उत्पादनलाई चाहिँ बढावा गर्ने र बजारको चाहिँ मार्केटलाई इन्स्योर गर्ने हो भने चाहिँ कृषि पेशामा चाहिँ कृषकहरूको चाहिँ आकर्षण बढ्छ जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई
सस्तो ब्याजमा चाहिँ ऋण अथवा बिना ब्याजको ऋण
मल जल यो सबै सुविधा यदि सरकारबाट उपलब्ध भएमा
जल बिउ मल खाद यिनीहरू समयमा उपलब्ध गराएमा कृषिमा आत्मनिर्भर हुन सक्छ
चाइको राम्रो व्यवस्था हुनु पर्यो नयाँ बिउको उत्पादन बढाउनु पर्यो
झोले किसानहरू चाहिँ गएर अनुदान खाने गर्छन् पहिला यसलाई चाहिँ हटाएर वास्तविक किसान अनुदान दिनु पर्यो
उत्पादन भइसकेको चीजलाई चाहिँ बजार व्यवस्थापनको लागि पनि सरकारले त्यसको चाहिँ बजारीकरणको चाहिँ व्यवस्थापन गर्नुपर्छ
समयमा के भन्छ भने बिउ बिजन र खाद यति मात्रै पूर्ति गर्यो भने किसानलाई भने किसान खेतीमा व्यावसायिक खेतीमा पनि लाग्छन्
उत्पादन भइसकेका वस्तुहरूको कमसेकम बजारीकरणमा राज्यले सहजीकरण गर्यो भने
सिपमूलक तालिमहरूको आयोजना गर्नुपर्छ
अनुदानको प्रक्रिया छ यो प्रक्रिया झन्झटिलो भएको हुनाले यसलाई सहज तरिकाले अनुदानहरू दिएर
कृषकले उत्पादन गरेका कृषि उपजहरू घर घरबाटै सरकारले खरिद गर्नु पर्यो
कृषकहरूलाई चाहिँ तालिमको व्यवस्था गरिदिनु पर्यो
Civil Aviation Authority of Nepal CAN has introduced a budget of 36.660 billion rupees 1.5 months after the beginning of the current fiscal year. The budget this time around is centered on airport security rather than airport construction. The meeting of Board of Directors of CAN endorsed the budget of the ongoing fiscal year. The budget has given continuity to previous plans of construction of infrastructures, installation of baggage handling system in Gautam Buddha, Simara, Janakpur and Chandragarhi airports, installation of air traffic simulator in Civil Aviation Academy and purchasing of 4 fire brigades for Simara, Bharatpur, Tumlingtar and Rajraj airports among others have been included in the budget. Likewise, budget has also been allocated to install fire watch at Janakpur, Bharatpur and Dhangari airports. CAN has said that 19 billion rupees has been allocated for construction of airport infrastructures. The authority has allocated 350 million rupees for Nijgarh airport. CAN, that has introduced a budget of 36.660 billion rupees, is targeting to generate 15.880 billion rupees in revenue through airport operation. It's time now for the international update. Rising global tensions and the ongoing Myanmar crisis took focus at the East Asia Summit during the last day of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations ASEAN Summit in Jakarta. Speaking at the opening of the East Asia Forum, Indonesian President Joko Widodo urged fellow leaders to defuse tensions and not create new conflicts or wars. Bangladesh President Muhammad Shahabuddin, who was also present in the meeting, called the international community to find a durable solution to the conflict in Myanmar, which has driven hundreds of thousands of Rohingya refugees to his country. Shahabuddin also said delays to repatriation of refugees and shortage of humanitarian support could put the entire region at risk. In a statement, ASEAN Chair Indonesia said regional leaders expressed grave concern over a lack of substantial progress on their 5-point peace plan for Myanmar. It's time now for another break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's time now for the sports update.
Sports news.
Team Nepal are taking on Thailand in the semi-final of the ICC Women T20 World Cup Asia region qualifiers. A win in the match tomorrow will sail Nepal into the World Cup global qualifiers for the first time. The match at Malaysian UKM Bangi Oval Stadium is slated for 7:15 in the morning tomorrow. Nepal are Group A winners, runners-up in fact, while Thailand are Group B champions. Nepal and Thailand are both unbeaten teams in the tournament. Nepal's last group match was washed out, and as a result, Nepal finished runner-up to UAE on net run rate. Meanwhile, Thailand have looked the most formidable team in the tournament. Nunapat has scored 106 runs, while Nataya has claimed 16 wickets. Thailand has also participated in the 2020 T20 World Cup. In the other semi-final, UAE are scheduled to take on Hong Kong. That is all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Good night.